It's time for Dart Talk. Brought to you by thedartzone.com. Stay in the zone. Thedartzone.com is an official Cosmo distributor and Windy City Fabricators, America's premier fabricators of orthotics and prosthetics. And Redwood Darts, America's newest tungsten darts. Stand straight and tall and hit them all. Redwood Darts. And now, here are your hosts, Mystery Mark and Steve P. It's time for Dart Talk, brought to you by thedartzone.com. Stay in.
Okay, welcome
All
to
right.
Dart Talk.
What happened there?
Don't ask.
Okay. I won't.
I told you I forgot something, but that wasn't it.
Oh, right.
Hi, everybody around the world. Dart Talk brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
Dartzone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks. Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts. How you doing, Mystery Mark?
I'm doing just fine. Yes.
You had an interesting weekend.
I did.
I think we can leave almost
leave
all the
most of it
details
out,
out, but
yes.
you shot an 80.
I did shoot an 80 at golf, yes.
All right, so that's
that was very encouraging.
be pleased with that.
Third round of the year, so
Third round of the year.
wasn't bad. After not breaking 80 the first two.
I was driving by Waveland. We should get on Waveland.
Yeah, I mean, people told me I should play it.
You could grab
Just
6
for-
clubs and just
right.
walk down there.
Just
I mean,
go
it's
there.
actually not that easy.
Yeah.
Not 4-inch rough, and it's right on the lake with the wind and stuff. So it's just that the greens you can putt with a driver. They're so slow.
Well,
I mean,
that's
it's just
of course
not
I'm used to.
real golf. So anyway, disclaim everything. Let's just get that
let's
out
do
of the way.
that.
Yeah.
The views, opinions, rants, and rampages expressed on Dart Talk do not necessarily reflect individually or collectively those of our sponsors, co-sponsors, wannabe hosts, hearing-impaired critics, or those with a penchant for attitudinal dysfunction. We at Dart Talk strive to provide you, the listener, with an educational, entertaining, and fun-filled experience each and every week. If after the show you, the listener, find yourself feeling uneducated, unentertained, and or bored, we at Dart Talk consider that your own problem.
Okay. Thanks to Aaron for that disclaimer.
We like it.
Right off the bat, I should apologize.
Okay.
Well,
Before.
I blame you, and then
Oh,
I
boy.
will apologize for the show. We didn't put the audio out last week.
I will take some of the blame.
So we have the smartest chat room in the business. You guys somebody should always remind us to record the show. I mean, it comes in.
They
It
probably
comes in
assume we
handy
already are.
when we want to add something to the archive. Anyway, welcome to everybody in the chat room. Got some news.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, we should start with Premier League.
All right.
Since it's the big weekend
Mhm.
now. You've got now. You correct me if I'm wrong. Van Gerwen and Barneveld are in,
Correct.
and then
Or
Gary,
was I not supposed to do that? I was only supposed to say something if you were wrong.
Well, you can
Oh, okay.
feel free to jump in. I mean, that's
All right.
part of being a co-host. The ability to interrupt me at any time.
Yes.
Right. So the Dutch guys are in, and then it's Gary Anderson, Peter Wright, and Phil Taylor
Fighting.
for the last two
For
spots. 4 guys get through.
Yeah.
So
3 for 2.
right now, Taylor's a point ahead of Anderson and Wright.
I think Anderson and Taylor are a point ahead of Wright.
Oh, they're both ahead of him.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
But
tomorrow, Taylor plays Thornton.
yes.
Wright plays Van Gerwen.
Yes.
And Anderson plays
Van Barneveld.
Van Barneveld. Okay, so who's going to get
I
through?
can double check
I
that
guess is
if
the
you want me to.
question. Who's gonna beat Bill this week? We haven't been talking about the beat Bill thing.
Oh,
but,
yeah, that's true.
the deal with beat Bill is you email us your picks before noon Central tomorrow. You got to pick all 5 matches and then guess the highest average that anyone throws tomorrow, and win a prize.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that in a while. We don't know what kind of update there is and how many
Well,
people
I'll
have
get-
been beating Bill.
Well, we'll talk after. I'll talk to Bill over the weekend, and we'll
Okay.
see. He's a busy guy, and I'm sure he's been living and dying.
Well,
with,
I mean, so then when they cut it down to the 4, we can get a compilation of how many,
Yeah.
people
I'm
beat
sure.
Bill
I'm sure
over the weeks.
He takes copious notes. I
Yeah.
mean, Bill can spit out any stat we want on this. Is it
So-
Henrik Lundqvist? I'm sure Bill's living and dying with Lundqvist right now.
Oh, the goalie?
the Rangers?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
And then, do we have an update on the Canadian score?
Last I
in
saw, it was
Boston?
2-1 with 45 seconds left going into the end of second.
Okay, so they got 20 more minutes to play.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what we're gonna do if the Stanley Cup Finals. If
Falls on a Wednesday.
if the Hawks
If
are
they're
in it
playing
and
the
it
Rangers.
falls on a Wednesday, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to reschedule the show or do it earlier and tape it or something.
Well, we don't
We
have to
can't
worry
get
about
you.
that for 2 weeks at least. So
Well, it's more than that, but
Yeah,
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I don't know.
till June.
I don't know if we're going to even be able to get by Anaheim
I don't either.
or the Kings for that matter. Those guys look like they were on their last legs, although they look good in overtime. I don't get it. I don't understand this
Hockey.
team. No, I think we're way more banged up than last year. So it's. We played an extra 3 months, plus half our team was
Right.
playing in the Olympics.
Yeah,
so, I
they
mean,
still
I don't
look good,
know.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, they all these other teams are going 7 games. Hawks haven't gone. Well, they went 7 in the first one, right?
Yeah, but half their games are overtime.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you count the extra minutes,
Well,
they may
a lot
as well
of these other
play-
games are overtime too.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
Montreal was their first one was double overtime, and they're in Game 7. So
Right.
the Hawks Wild overtime game yesterday was the first one in the
series.
second round.
Yeah.
In the second round overall to go into overtime.
Of anyone's second round?
No, the first one not to. I mean, they were the only
the
team,
first series that didn't have an overtime.
yes,
Yeah.
until yesterday
Wow.
or Sunday, whenever it was.
What I call a meaningless statistic.
know.
And then, I apologize that we're using the same background again this week.
Okay.
I swear to God.
Maybe.
If anybody wants to feature your dart bar
Yes.
as a background
Send
for the
us a
show, send us the picture. Email it to darttalk@gmail.com. It needs to be really big and high def and stuff, but if it's suitable, we will use it. No dancing girls in the background or anything like that. Like all those trophies.
Yeah.
So, okay. So Premier League.
back to the Premier.
Who's gonna make it through?
Well, Phil Taylor's got the upper hand, I would say, because he's got the tiebreaker, even if him and Anderson tie.
If Wright wins and Taylor loses, Wright's in, right?
Yes.
Because you get 2 for a.
Yes.
Taylor might get in with a draw, depending on leg differential.
Taylor could get in a draw. Taylor's got more options. He can get in with a draw if Anderson draws.
You got to figure Taylor's going to
Even
beat
if
Thornton.
Anderson draws and Wright wins, and Taylor draws, then Taylor gets in over Anderson. So then Wright and Taylor would be in
So
because he's got the tiebreaker
His
on
leg
Anderson.
differential?
Yeah,
So who's in last with the leg differential? Is it Anderson?
I believe so.
Okay.
Well, they didn't give stats on Anderson and Wright. On their
And the one
leg
seed is
differential.
up for grabs, right? So I
Yes.
mean, Van
And either-
Barneveld and
He's
the only
got a-
person with nothing to play for is Thornton,
pretty much.
but Thornton has a lot of pride.
Yeah. So and
So Thornton has no pressure. Taylor does have pressure, right? Well, Taylor's kind of used to having pressure, but
yeah, I mean, if you think Taylor's going to lose to Thornton,
who's playing MVG?
Wright,
Wright's going to lose.
and
Wright's going to lose.
he's
to
the
MVG.
only one that has to win.
If
He can't even draw
he can't even draw
because
if
he's
he draws
down a point to
and-
both guys.
But he's down. Okay, he's hosed.
And he's got to play Van Gogh.
Yeah. So, what's the order of play? Did we look that up? Who's playing first? Do you not know?
The way that read is Taylor and Anderson play before Wright.
What is the order of the?
Here it is.
Okay, so what's first? Chizzy. Oh, so they lead off with a who cares.
Chizzy
And then
Lewis,
Anderson plays RVB.
RVB, and then Taylor and Thornton next, and then Peter
So
Wright and
that
Van
may
Gerwen.
be totally meaningless to Wright. Wright may be out by the time.
Yes. Yeah.
If Anderson beats RVB, then MVG has nothing to play for,
That is true.
right?
Yeah,
Because then he's locked up
he's
the
got
second
locked up.
seed.
He's got the one seed locked up, or MVG does. Yeah.
So that would be interesting. I don't know that these guys really care. I think these guys are just trained to win.
I think
And,
so too.
All these permutations probably aren't going to bother them. So you take Van Gerwen, right? You take Van Gerwen over Wright because I think Van Gerwen owns him. Despite what
I don't
Wright
think,
says.
even if he doesn't have anything to play for, I don't
think
he's going to.
he'll just enjoy stomping on him.
Yeah.
I think that's Van Gerwen's hobby. All right, Taylor plays Thornton. You have to take Taylor, although Thornton has a lot of pride. Thornton will not just lay down.
Right.
Anderson and RVB. I mean, I never know what to do with RVB. You know, he's had a good season. But, I don't know. I say draw for Anderson and Van
I mean, if you
Barneveld.
think
we
about
haven't even we haven't done these picks in a long time.
If you think about it, RVB has a lot of incentive to try and get first because most likely Phil Taylor's going to end up in third.
Yeah, you probably want to avoid playing Phil.
So you want to have the 1 seed and play either Anderson or Wright, most likely Anderson.
And you're playing him right now, so you get to beat him so you can beat him
again.
again.
So you can beat him again.
Yeah.
Well, that
Slightly
would be right,
longer.
but if he had to play Anderson, so you would think.
He'll be a slightly longer format. They play a race to 10 in the final.
Yeah.
And it closes with Wright and Van Gerwen. I don't know. How did Whitlock only win like 5 legs? I mean,
he got 5 points.
Or 5 points. I just, that guy has just, I don't know how you get that far down in that much of a hurry. In what, 8 months, 9 months, the guy's gone to nothing? I don't know. That's weird.
Well, I mean,
Lewis and Chizzy, I'll take Lewis. Even though Lewis doesn't care and is playing for nothing. And Chizzy's playing for nothing. I'll take Lewis there.
Okay. Well, Lewis played the better.
Yeah. I mean, Lewis is
season,
I think just Lewis is a more solid player. He's a much better finisher than Chizzy is. That's the only reason I would go with Lewis there. And then Anderson and Van Barneveld, I don't know who you like there.
I think Van Barneveld's going to do his best to get first. I would take him.
Yeah. I'll go draw there just because I have no idea. And then I'll take Taylor, and I will take Van Gerwen.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
I would agree with those.
I'm going to try to beat Bill. Let's see.
Are you?
What do you think for the high average? Think anybody's going to really light it up?
I don't know. I haven't seen any stats like what they've been shooting.
Yeah,
do you
they
know?
post them every week, dude.
Yeah. I haven't.
You know what? I think
Too busy playing golf.
The person who's most likely to throw a high average is probably Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's an exhibition. I mean, he's not really
Yeah.
playing for anything. I think if you look at all the other matches like Van Barneveld and Taylor and Wright, those guys, there's going to be a lot of pressure, and when there's a lot of pressure, you know your average tends to suffer. You're going to You'll tighten up and miss a couple of doubles and stuff like that. So
I can see that.
Okay.
Do you pick in the beat Bill thing? Do you pick draws or do you have to pick win or lose?
Well, no. If you pick a draw, you get it right. If you pick somebody to win and they draw, you didn't get it right. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll go draw there.
All right.
And then how would that work then? If Anderson draws and Taylor wins, they're both in.
Correct.
Even if Wright wins,
and then Wright doesn't. Well, no, Wright would be in because he gets 2 points.
See, that would
Would
be
you
the
get a
ideal.
point for a draw?
Yeah.
So they'd be tied, and then they don't list the tiebreaker here.
Leg differentials in the fourth column there.
Anderson's
Wright's
plus 9.
11 and
So actually Wright would have the leg differential.
yeah. So it would be Wright.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm basically picking Wright and Taylor to get through, and we'll have that'd be a good one. If you had Wright and Taylor and Van Gerwen and Van Barneveld, I think that'd be a good Final Four. I think those are probably
you're
the
not
guys
picking
playing
Wright
the
to get
best.
through because you're saying Van Gerwen's going to win.
No, I'm saying. Oh, that's right. I did.
If Van Gerwen wins, Wright's done.
Okay. Well, Wright's done. That's too bad. Okay.
So
for an average, I will pick. For Lewis, I will pick 103. 103 even.
103 on the dot.
See if I beat Bill. Anyway, you guys can email your picks to darttalk@gmail.com. Let's take a break because I want to talk about your street cred. You had league darts last night, so we got to talk about that. Listen to Dart Talk with Steve Panancione and Mystery Mark. We'll be back. It'll be a quick break, but we'll be right back.
The views and opinions expressed on Dart Talk are those of the hosts. They in no way should be misrepresented, misinterpreted, or made to claim that the universe is against you, your family, your city, or the darting community at large.
Okay, back for the second quarter at Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor, also undefeated last week, I guess. No one beat Bill last week?
No one, apparently, no.
And then
nobody beat Bill.
What's the deal in the chat room? If Wright draws and either Anderson or Taylor lose, then Wright's in.
That's how we ended it. If Wright wins, Anderson or Taylor draw,
right?
So he's down 1 point, so he gets 2. If either one of them draw, he has to win regardless because he's down a point.
No, he's up leg differential. If Anderson loses and Wright gets a draw, he's in. I think that's the point there.
Oh, okay.
Because he's up leg differential,
so
and if one of those guys loses, his leg differential is higher.
Not against Taylor.
Can you imagine if Anderson loses and
Wright beats Van Gerwen, or just draws,
or tries to draw, because they play. It's a race to 7, but you can tie at 7-7. Mm-hmm. It's 14 legs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of must viewing tomorrow.
Yeah.
To watch Premier League.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but there are really a lot of scenarios out there that could anything.
Well,
could happen,
it could all be mute. It could all be moot after
for Wright.
If
Anderson and Taylor just win.
But Anderson, Van Barneveld. I mean, I'm taking draw there just because I don't know. I haven't tried to beat Bill, so we'll see if it works.
No better time than the present.
No better time than the present. We got some news, but we'll get to that later. Because every now and then I go to tournaments on the road and everybody asks about you, whether or not you can even play, right? And I tell everybody, hey, he's been playing longer than me. He's a talented league player and stuff. Just never really went out to tournaments, never traveled, despite many invitations from me.
But I quit playing for what, I don't know, 3.5 years, 4 years now.
Like I think
I haven't played League in a long time.
You stopped playing League before you started the show. You had kind of just stopped, sort of.
Yeah.
So
it's probably been 4 years.
So how'd it go? I was going to go out last night and see some League darts because I haven't played League in a while either.
Yeah, it was the League started this week.
Okay.
And I was finishing up dinner, getting ready to leave, and I got a text message and it got canceled.
Oh, I forgot. That's one of the things
about
League.
I didn't even call you to tell you don't show up, which I'm glad you didn't.
It was very important. I was stressed out about the Hawks.
Yeah.
Because the way I was looking at it is I'm like, if these guys win at home, they're going to get a lucky bounce in Chicago and we're going to lose.
Possible.
And,
sure.
Well, yeah, and I think the hockey players realize this. Mm-hmm. I think they realize that, no matter what they do, hey, they may lose anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, puck takes funny bounces for something that's relatively round.
It's the only sport where Game 7 on the road is winnable for the most part. I mean, most sports, you lose Game 7, home team wins.
Well, they win the majority. But they don't.
But in hockey, it seems like it's 50-50. I mean, look what's going on right now.
Are they in? They're in Boston.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, and they're losing.
God. And the Rangers were on the road. So anyway,
so tell everybody.
Yeah, so I unfortunately got canceled.
I forgot the thing about League Darts is
45 minutes beforehand. Apparently, the team that we were playing called and said they wanted to reschedule, and whether we said yes or no, we wanted to forfeit or not, they weren't showing up anyway. So even 3/4 of the team, where you could get in 5 out of 9 games or whatever it is.
So what? Okay, so what's the format of the league you're playing in? Tell everybody what the format is.
So it's nine games. There's 4 singles matches, which is 301, 501, cricket, and Chicago format.
Okay, so for everybody in Chicago format is a leg of 501, a leg of 301, and a leg of cricket. You cannot play the same leg twice.
Correct.
Whoever wins the diddle gets to pick
choose
the first game and start.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever loses the first game gets to pick the second game and start.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't play. You got to play something that hasn't been played yet.
You have to pick one of the other two.
Right, and then if you go to a third leg, you re-diddle.
Right.
And winner of the diddle starts at third leg.
But then the loser of the diddle diddles first.
No.
I believe, right?
No, it's reverse. Whoever the way the league does it, if I remember correctly, is home team shows.
Okay.
And then
doesn't matter who
in
won
the
or
third,
lost.
and then just in the third leg,
right.
it's the away
it's not
team
the loser. Yes,
shows.
Right.
So that's Chicago format.
Yeah.
So
so basically,
and they're best of three.
They're best of
Games
three.
are best of three. So there's a 501 singles, a 301 singles, a cricket singles, and a format singles.
And you're only allowed to play in one singles event.
On the night.
Right.
Right. Okay.
And out of the 9, and then after that you have a cricket doubles, you have a 501 doubles, you have a 301 doubles, and you have a Chicago format doubles, right? And then you have that leaves one more
choice.
You have a choice doubles.
Right. And the way choice doubles works is it's always the 6th game, and whoever is behind gets to pick the game. Once you submit who's playing,
yes.
And I swear to God, this one guy that had been in the league for 20 years was always trying to say, okay, who's playing? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, who's playing? Or what game are you playing? He would always try to cheat, and I'd always be like, why do you do this? You know the rules better than I do. Are you looking for some weird little edge?
Yeah.
Like, because it's a little bit, the deal is you can't play more than 4 games a night.
Right.
You can play 1
9.
singles and 3 doubles.
Yeah.
So if you only have 4 people, it's not hard to figure out who's going to play what. Because the way the math works, 2 guys play 4 games and 2 guys
you can't
play 3
with the
games.
same opponent either, or same partner. I'm sorry.
You can't play with the same partner more than once. So, I mean, it's pretty easy to
if
fill
you only
the
have
thing
4
out.
guys, yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
I'm flashing back to league.
And then
is
for
like
the pick,
painful,
is you can pick either 301 doubles, 501 doubles, cricket doubles, or
choice
or
doubles. No, format
doubles.
So 5-0, 3-0 cricket, and invariably, you kind of like, it was kind of funny. You would look at who you're playing and then kind of get with your partner and be like, well, what do you want to play him in? Right. And I don't know. I just remember years where all I did was play cricket. That's
most league players enjoy cricket. I mean, all the years I was in league, it was like, because the cricket singles is the 8th leg out of the 9, and a lot of the people like to play that singles game because not only was it cricket, but it was also the 8th leg, which it could have been a very deciding leg. Whereas
it was usually like your best player would play that.
But I always played 501, which is the first 501 singles is the first one,
which was kind of difficult for people.
And I always liked that.
Yeah, I always found it difficult to play the first match of the night. You're not really warmed up and everything, and
I didn't necessarily mind playing the first one, but then since I played 501, I played 501 doubles as the 9th leg, or the 9th match.
Yeah.
So I had to be there from beginning to end.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
And then, sometimes it takes 3 hours, sometimes it takes 5, depending on how many people are smoking and how many people can hit a double. Because if you can't hit a double, then some of these partner games just go on forever and ever and ever.
Well, I don't know. I told this league a long time that they're, with the level of the skill level of their players, it's a bad format. They're keeping people out until closing time, and I don't think that's a very good idea on a weeknight. So you got rained out, well,
basically, yeah. Somebody turned the sprinklers on like at Bull Durham.
Right.
They went out there and said, "All right, we need a day off." And
because I was going to ask you, I don't know how I could play league and play a decent game when I'm trying to watch the Hawks unless I was playing in between periods. You know what I mean?
You're a bigger hockey fan than I am. I'm obviously rooting for the Hawks and I watch them, but I'm not tuned in every puck drop and every second. Like yesterday, I was watching basketball, the Hawks and the White Sox. I was flipping back and forth, and it didn't bother me if I missed some Now, flashback to 2005. The hardest game of darts I ever played was Game 3 of the World Series when the White Sox were playing the Houston Astros, and I'm in a stupid bar trying to throw darts while the baseball game is on. That was difficult for me.
Yeah. Did you win?
I don't even remember. I remember we were at Oasis, and I didn't care what was going on. I can't even remember if we won darts or not, but that was the game that went in 14 innings.
Oh, right.
And so league gets done, and they're in the bottom of the 8th or 9th.
Jeff Bloom or something hit a homer. Like, who?
And then And so we're sitting there going, well, all right, do we leave? Well, we'll just wait one more inning. Next thing you know, 2 hours later, it's like the 12th inning. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I got to go. But anyway, so that I would equate that as probably the same as you playing when the Hawks are playing, was me playing when the White Sox were playing in the World Series. But yet the Hawks were there last year, so I was trying to play darts when the White Sox in my lifetime had never been there.
Well,
so that was difficult.
Well, I had one interesting thought. How much time do we have? We got a couple of minutes.
Oh, we got plenty.
Well, here's the thing. So, my new practice regimen is to go out 2 hours before a Hawk game and practice, and then try to practice all the way through the end of the game.
Right.
I couldn't make it through the double overtime game against St. Louis, and I couldn't make it
because you
through
were
the third period of Game 3
because you were stopped paying attention to your darts.
No, because I couldn't move my arm anymore.
Oh.
Because I'm literally on a board by myself because no one will even play me.
Mm-hmm.
Which I must practice really well to be intimidating.
Well, they also know you.
No, I mean, usually at this place, when I go to Murphy's, usually, I'll play on the board right behind you. I'll play on the board on the right, kind of be by myself, and then there'll be invariably some other people play on the other board, and they just stare, and they're very polite. Because obviously, wow, he's got his own darts. He must be good, kind of thing.
I did get that benefit on Monday, though, because the Monday Dart League at the bar I was at,
you work at a bar.
The bar I was working at, their opponents basically forfeited.
So,
quit the league.
So the two league matches I know of were both canceled.
Wednesday and Tuesday. I'm playing on Tuesday, so Monday night I was working, and then I'm thinking that I have a Tuesday match coming up, so I asked those guys if they wanted to play some doubles. So I actually got to throw some darts for a couple hours
with some league players in a different bar. All right, well I want to ask you about that. So let's take a real quick break. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mystery Mark, who now has street cred again, Steve Panazielman, and we will be right back.
Dart Talk agrees to adhere to the Geneva Convention in treating fairly its prisoners in their war against lackluster darting administration and behaviour.
Okay, back for the second half of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts. We're talking about...
Oh, I have a question real quick.
Okay.
Grand Rapids tourney, are you going this week?
I don't know. I'd like to, but, the love of my life apparently does nothing but work.
Yes.
So I was thinking I might, drive up there and, maybe play in the singles, but it's a weird tournament because they have all the singles on Sunday, and I'm like, well, what if no one shows up? I don't want to drive to Grand Rapids on Sunday and be the only person
That's
there.
A good point.
So I don't know. I always supported Grand Rapids tournaments and stuff like that, but I don't think I'm going to go. I mean, it's
So
tempting.
apparently she's working all weekend. So what you're saying.
What is today? Today's
Wednesday.
So
Big
she's
shock.
working. Well, she's working on Saturday. So I was thinking
yeah.
I was thinking I would drop her off at work and drive to Grand Rapids and just hang out and play.
Mhm.
But then I couldn't stay and play Sunday, or maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to go though.
All right. Anyway, sorry, that was just a quick.
Well,
question.
no, because we talk so much about tournament play, and we don't really talk much about league play.
Mhm. Right.
And so to get back to what you were talking about before the break, there was was it 3 guys?
Yeah, they knew they weren't playing. They knew they had a forfeit, but so three of the guys from the team showed up just to
Practice.
Practice.
So you got like a intermediate
and it was
level team
It
practicing.
was so dead at the bar that I was able to join him for about 2.5 hours.
So you played doubles with these guys?
Yeah.
You got 4
We
of
just
them?
played Chicago format doubles, and we splashed for a teammate, and then just played and just
Okay. And how'd it go?
Actually, I thought I played pretty well, especially being rusty. And, there's classifications for the league we're in, and they're classified as nickel.
Which is kind
there's
of middle.
brass, nickel, tungsten, masters.
Well, there's
So-
no masters anymore.
Well,
but
yeah, right. So, really, tungsten is masters.
There's two classifications that are amateur and then 2 that are pro.
Okay.
Right? Tungsten and masters are pro.
Pro,
And then
brass, and nickel.
brass and
And
nickel
then they
are
have
amateurs.
A, B, and C as well. So
Yeah, but they don't use that for anything.
well, it's, if you're a nickel, you're a nickel C, and then you have to become a B, and then you have to become an A before you make it tungsten.
Right, but if you go to a tournament, whether you're
they don't use
3A
anything
or a
for
3C,
right.
3C, you play all the 3s.
Exactly.
So it's kind of
Right.
a meaningless
It just
distinction.
shows that you're getting closer to the next level, and
Yeah. Okay.
trust me, when you're coming up in this league and starting, people,
I did come up in the league.
know,
I did play.
but you didn't
in
really
it.
care. But
No.
people look at it like, oh my God, he's a 3A, and he's like, I'm a 3C, and the people, they do actually pay attention to that.
In totally the wrong way.
Well,
I'm
just telling you they do.
these rating systems. My God,
so-
I don't understand league players who get like NDA, the biggest league tournament in the country, just went on in Vegas. Right? They have like 14 or 15 classifications, some insane thing. Where, hey, I won Division 14. It's like,
yeah.
well, good for you. I'm glad you won. I hope you played well. Maybe you'll be in Division 13 next season.
Right.
It's just sort of like,
So it was
for
actually
fun. If you're playing for fun, then
Right.
have fun. But if you're trying to be competitive, but you're so wrapped up in a handicap system where you don't want to play somebody ranked higher than you, then I don't know what level of competition you're really playing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to be a player or not?
Right.
That's always how I looked at
Well,
it. I
I
always
was
looked at
like-
it like, how do you not want to be playing the best people?
Like when I was playing, I had some good people that teach me the game when I first started playing a little bit,
a little bit.
but they're teaching me outs and they're
Yeah.
teaching me what to do
Yeah.
and things like that. Not to the specifics of when you get to the master's level and everything, but
Well,
but
they
things that you
teach
need
you
to
the
do
basics
to
and-
win.
Yeah.
And to
Hit what you're aiming at.
give it, well, they can't teach you that, but anyway, just
They could suggest
playing
it.
against these guys, and they're nice guys. They played decent, but it kind of reiterated like the end of my so-called career until I started up again. It was like I saw them as myself when I first started playing, but nobody's taught them outs. Like
These guys, you mean the guys you're playing
Yeah.
with the other night?
nobody's taught them, that you should be, throwing with 3 darts in your hand, whatever it takes to make sure you have a double bull.
So like with 3 darts in their hand on 90,
90.
they're going for like
They're
18,
going for 18s.
which is wrong.
Right.
We all know that's wrong.
Yeah.
And if they got 3 darts in their hand and they're on 80, they're going for 16.
16s.
Right. That's like very beginner basic.
Right. And nobody's teaching them,
Oh, by the way,
but your opponent's at 32, pal.
Yeah.
You have 80. You can't be doing that.
No one taught me either, but the people that taught me didn't know.
Right.
So I mean, it's kind of weird, and that's one of the things about the Chicago League that always killed me is like you're in a beginner league with a bunch of beginners, and then the people in the beginners league have been beginners for 20 years and are trying to teach you. What are they going to teach you? It's like if you're a high draft pick and you go into some team's farm system and you're being coached by somebody who's never been in the majors and is only coached in like the beginner farm system, what can he teach you except how to be a beginner? You're already a beginner.
Yeah.
I don't think you need much help being a beginner. Once you learn the basics and stuff, then, okay. Then you need somebody who actually has, knowledge from the division above you.
Right. Which, I mean,
know what I
then
mean?
as I, well, that's what I'm saying, though, but that's where I was to begin with. And then as I progressed, I mean, you get more knowledge the better people you play, and as you move on.
Yeah, I mean.
In which I got knowledge like that. So I was just kind of like in the twilight zone a little bit, going back in the days when I first started playing, watching these guys play, as opposed to, where I was by the time I ended.
I was insane when I first started. Because I was, on my beginner team, obviously, I was the best player because that's all I did. I mean, when I started playing darts, I mean, I played every single day. I was closing out Mullins every night. I'd have dinner there at 7, and I would play until 1:30, 5 nights a week. I was nuts. So I got decent in a hurry. But I was the worst captain ever. I mean, somebody would miss a double, and I'd be like, okay, now stay there until you hit it. And I meant well. I came off as a Hitler because, like, the best time to practice is right after a game that you lost.
Right.
That's the best time to practice. And it's like, okay, you missed 3 darts at 16. Well, now hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what good's it going to do? I mean, the game's over
Yeah,
anyway.
it's not gonna
But I
do
mean,
it again.
well, it will help you insofar as, like, to give you confidence that, okay, I missed it that time, but I can hit it. You know what I mean? I mean,
Sure.
And that's the thing. Like, so you played with these guys for like a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, schooled them immensely. Just beat them like a drum, pretty much.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I mean, I played better than them.
Beat them like a tambourine.
Yeah. I mean, they knew I was better than them by the time we were done playing.
Even though you haven't played league darts in like 3.5 years.
Yeah.
See, I think that gives you street cred.
So.
If you could just walk off the street all rusty and beat on some league players, I think that gives you some street cred.
But it was fun because this is actually like, even just from a somewhat competitive atmosphere that I've thrown darts in. It wasn't quite league because it didn't mean anything. But I didn't want to lose. I'll tell you, it meant that much. I didn't want to lose to these guys.
And that's why I wanted to talk about this. And I hope we have time because there's a value, and we've never talked about this. I find that there's like a lot of value in what I consider casual play. And now what I mean by casual play is you're going out to play without any organized thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not a league night, it's not a tournament, but you're going to play and you're going to pay attention and you're going to try to win. Right? I don't mean like, oh, let's see if I can hit this from my knees or from the other hockey and all this stuff, which I do sometimes. Yeah. Like I'll stand at the board on the left
and throw to that
and
one.
play somebody,
right.
or I'll stand on the board on the right and play somebody like that.
Yeah.
Which I can,
Yeah, I've seen you do.
I can hit stuff like that. It's somewhat luck, but what I found is like when because I've had last year I had a terrible year. I stopped practicing. I stopped playing league. I stopped playing singles league. So I would go to these tournaments and try to kind of get it together on Friday and then kind of see what would happen, and had terrible results pretty much. I didn't win anything all year. I had a couple of top fours, made some finals, whatever. But the one thing that I have found that really helps is casual play. Grab somebody and say, hey, let's play
whatever.
It doesn't really matter what you play, although I recommend not playing cricket. But I mean, as long as you're there, you played Chicago format, which is best of 3,
right?
With these guys for a couple hours.
So I was playing cricket, but 501. I'm still hitting doubles,
right?
So
and you're executing finishes in cricket sometimes, especially. See, I don't do it anymore, but when beginners play cricket, they leave the bull for last.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so double bull to win is kind of like a finish in 01. So I mean, it's not like you're not finishing, but
right.
You're working on finishing too. And you were telling me that, by the end of the night, they were telling you, we're tired of you beating us or something, and they quit?
I think they said, well, we're sick of you beating us like a drum.
Not a
Except for my partner, he didn't say that. It was the other two guys.
So you didn't switch partners after a while. You just kept playing with... See...
Right. So
whenever that happens to me, it's always like they want to give me Ray Charles, and there's a couple of guys that are decent players, and this one guy's always like, well, let's play, and he gets the best partner he can find, and he gets me Ray Charles. He's like, yeah, let's play. I'm like, how about not?
Yeah.
He's like, what's the matter? I'm like, I don't want to work that hard. It's like this, and I don't know if it's other places, but in Chicago, there's this attitude where like people want to win, they just don't want to put any effort in, right? Like one of your teammates is kind of like that. He always wants to win, but he doesn't want to practice. He doesn't really want to pay attention. He just wants to rig it, so no matter what he does,
he wins.
He wins. And I'm like, I don't know what game that is, but I don't know how you get much out of that. Wow.
Yeah. I was just happy to have the want and the will to, have to hit a double 16 and, or, you have 84 out, you have 123 out, I know what, remember what to throw at. Did I execute it? Not the 123, but I mean, things like that, then, and then where to move on from there. And so I was, kind of like after that session on Monday, I was like, all right, this is cool. I'm actually somewhat prepared for Tuesday league, which I didn't think I was going to be at all. And then
you had a great warm up for league, and then they pulled the plug. That is the Chicago League to me in a nutshell.
Yeah,
it's just like everybody's like, hey, you want to be on a dart team? And everybody says, yeah, until it's time to show up. And then all of a sudden, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. And then, summer. This is the summer season, right? I mean, we're in May, but I mean, technically it's the summer season. I mean, it's like you got to start taking kids to ball games and barbecues.
Plus, I joined this team as a sub. Yeah. So there's four. You have to have 4 players. And, most teams have 6. But you have to have 4 to do a complete match.
Right.
And so I was the 5th and the 6th. I was one of the 2 subs, and then one of the guys hurt his arm, might have to have surgery. So now I'm actually my arm. I think it's broke. So now all of a sudden I went from a sub to being you're probably a
now
full-time
you're Danny
player.
Noonan.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, every time somebody has said you're a sub, that means it always means that I have to show up or we forfeit.
Yeah.
So I never want to be a sub again.
Basically, that means once you said yes. They just reined you in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this league their numbers keep diminishing every season, and the people that run the league just keep doing the same thing. I just don't get it. I don't get how you're not innovating and how you're not like what they need to do is like reduce the minimum number of people to 3 instead of 4.
123 is bull, trip 20, double 19.
According to who?
He's asking the question.
Yeah, okay. I generally go for 19.
Yeah, you would go 19 first, right? Because if you miss, if you hit the single,
you
got 104, and you got trip 18,
out.
Trip 18 double bull.
I mean,
so
you could go for bull.
It is not. It should not
it's
be
not
bull,
dart,
trip 20 double.
Well,
19.
Starting with the bull on 123 is not Dart Talk recommended. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I mean, people will do it.
You can do it, yes.
It's like Larry Butler on 121 goes for bull.
Right.
Okay. Whatever. I mean, if you hit a double bull, where are you?
It's 71?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What good does that do? You still got to hit a triple.
Right.
So you're not really gaining much going for the bull there. But I remember him telling me once, because I asked him, why do you do that? Because it never made any sense to me. He's like, well, over 20 or 30 years, however long he's been playing, he's had more success doing it that way than any other way. Okay, fine. That's the beauty of, like, jazz. I'm sure I said this on a show like 2 years ago. But in jazz, part of the beauty of jazz is breaking the normal rules of music. The trick is the difference between the monkey banging on the piano and a jazz player knows what rules he's breaking and why he's breaking them, and a monkey doesn't know the rules and just goes pop, 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 pop. Right?
Okay.
So,
I don't you didn't say that since I've been on the show. I've never heard that analogy.
Well, and that's kind of like very advanced play. But you have to learn the basics. And you got these guys you're playing with that are supposedly intermediate players that obviously don't know the basics of finishing an 0-1 game. But I guarantee you, I have never met these guys. I have no idea who they are. I guarantee you they know how to play cricket.
Yeah, sure.
So what takes more skill?
That's not, you're right. But
I'm just saying.
yeah.
I'm just saying. If
But
anybody
anyway,
can play
so,
cricket
right.
and everybody has a hard time playing 0-1, then which takes more skill?
I don't even think
We'll
Larry...
get somebody on to argue
I don't
about
even
this,
think
but-
Larry Butler, though, would recommend you go for a double bowl on 121. But he's had 20 to 30 years to try and figure out which works best for him. But
Well, why would you not recommend something that works for you?
Because
It's, it's a lower percentage shot?
Yeah, but it works for you.
Well, I don't know. I mean, watch somebody like Jeff Smith play, and you look at some of the stuff he does, and because he sets up 36 a lot, which a lot of pros you won't see doing that. He does a lot of trip 17s, trip 19s instead of 20s. You know, a lot of pros won't do that. It kind of depends on your game. It depends on how you play, and it also sort of depends on where you're at on a given day.
Sure.
Sure.
If you go through a match where you can't hit double tops, but you still make it through the match, the second match you're probably not going to set yourself up with double tops.
I'm stubborn. I'll keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah. So will Phil Taylor. You'll watch Phil Taylor whiff on 16, and he'll
Doesn't
set it up
matter.
every time. He said, "Well, I missed it last time."
Eventually, I'm
going
to hit it.
Well,
it's
I mean,
true. That is
if your
true.
lifetime percentage is 75% and you just miss, then you're good for the next three.
You miss 6
right?
in a row, yeah.
Well, statistics don't really work that way. No, but the casual play, I think, is really, really valuable as far as like it even like, I mean, look at yourself. I mean, you just sort of casual game with three guys you don't even know. You play for a couple of hours, and you're confident going into the next day. Right? As much as people say it's you need to play the better players, and I was saying this to somebody, a week or two ago, I'm like, you need to go play somebody who's not that good and beat them up a little bit to help your own confidence.
Oh, it could have, right.
If you're a better player.
Right. It could have very easily, I could have gone into Tuesday if it didn't get canceled and got waxed and then would have realized, all right, I have more work to do because those guys were better than the guys I played. But I agree, it definitely helped just being able to know. I wasn't, because it wasn't taking me 9 darts to hit a double, and it wasn't taking me, it was like just a confidence builder that, I knew I should have beat these guys, but still I was beating them more on my own terms than on just winning a match. You know what I mean?
No,
I have
no idea what you mean.
Well, I wasn't giving them 6 darts in and out, and me taking 6 to win. It was like, it went down, and I was able to take it out.
So you were executing and executing your finishes, which you were always a pretty good finisher, if I remember correctly.
It might not have equated to my league, but at least it gave me confidence going into my league that and I'll tell you next week. Well, actually, we don't play next week either.
Because you got to buy.
No, because the other team has already asked for a reschedule.
So, again,
the first 2 leagues. So I won't be able to explain how all this works out for 3 weeks.
You're killing me. Well, I don't know, but you're excited about playing league again.
Yeah,
And so why are you excited about this? What is the attraction?
Well, I still miss it. I mean,
what I mean is, what do you miss? What is it that you miss? You miss the competition.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like playing somebody.
Yeah. I just, I miss the, I enjoy playing darts.
Yeah.
And I like the competition of going out and playing. I would prefer, I agree with you. I don't necessarily like the league format, but that's right now my only option. I would prefer to play in, a straight 501.
Well, you played the singles league.
Yeah.
You played that.
Well, that was fun. But I would like a combination of the two. I would like a more structured format on a single day than trying to sit there and make a phone call in a singles league and trying to set up a match one day during a week.
Yeah, I think an in-house singles league is the way to go.
Right.
And have enough people where you don't have to show up every week and you're still, in the mix.
But since I don't have that option, I prefer this. I don't, and I mean, I'm going to play with some guys that I haven't seen in a while that I used to play with or against. So, I miss the camaraderie a little bit and, those guys. And so I think it's just going to be fun. I mean, and I don't want to say ultra competitive because it's not. It's more of a.
Well, it's not, but pistols at dawn competitive, but it's kind of competitive.
It's competitive.
And,
I mean, I guarantee everybody on my team wants to win. I know they're not going to, they're not going there just to drink or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
I know they want to. I know they want to play and they want to win, but
I'm sure they won't drink at all.
I didn't say that.
Okay. All right, we're going to take one more break. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mystery Mark Steve Panunciama. We'll be back with some news. I want to talk about this Canadian Youth Championship this weekend. Also, we have results from the Dartslive Americas Tour. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
You are now and forevermore warned that you consume this show at your own risk, and that Dart Talk cannot be brought to justice in any court or by any government, including and not restricted to the grand spaghetti monster of the Triple 20.
Okay, back for the fourth quarter of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
DartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. And undefeated last week. So if you want to beat Bill, get your picks in, email him to darttalk@gmail.com by tomorrow at 12 Central.
Correct.
Did I get that right? Okay.
Yes.
Pick all the matches and the highest average that anyone attains for tomorrow, and see how you do.
Tiebreaker.
Win something. It was funny. I had a guy that I will play casually with.
Darts
called me. Yeah.
So I just
wow.
You gotta make sure
it's that kind of a day.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, and this is the last thing on casual play because I want to get to this Canadian Youth Championship, but the one problem I have with casual play is people that take it way more seriously than I do. Right?
Yeah.
Because, I got a bit of a target on my back when it comes to playing locally. And, guys that can't get out to tournaments figure if they beat me in a set while I'm watching the Hawks game, that somehow that means that they would win on in a tournament somewhere. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really work that way. And, okay, fine, whatever. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I enjoy – I really am playing – this is the most I've practiced in a long time, and I'm really starting to like the way I'm playing.
Well, you used to practice a lot, too, and you kind of lost that for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I don't know. But I'm enjoying it now. I mean, I'm doing these, ridiculous stuff now. Like, 10 double bulls, 2 of every double, 50 trip 20s, take out everything from 80 to 120, work my way back down, and then somebody wants to play, and I play casual darts for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And I can barely walk the next day. I mean, it's a marathon practicing.
I was surprised my elbow didn't hurt Tuesday.
Why would it hurt? I mean, if you throw naturally, then your arm knows what to do.
I know. I've
it's when
I've
you
done
start
it
monkeying
before
around that you like.
Yeah, that my elbow's at least been sore.
Well, you hold onto the dart a little too long and kind of hyperextend it or something. Take a Tylenol, ibuprofen.
But yeah,
whatever.
Tuesday.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah, I just thought Tuesday at my first dart, I'd be like, "Ooh, that kind of hurts." But
well, so real quick, somebody sent me the schedule of events for the Canadian National Youth Championship that starts on Thursday or on Friday. This is what they do for their youths. I mean, look at this. They have opening ceremonies. They have junior and senior female doubles, men's doubles, and then they do the finals later. Like they do their, round robin, and they play all the way to the semis, and then they'll do the finals back to back, which I think is nice. Everyone's done playing and then can finally watch. And I know Chris White tried to do that at like the first Pacquiao they had, where they tried to have the finals all at the end of the day or at the end of the weekend or something, so people could watch. I wish more tournaments would do that. So they have doubles, and then Saturday they have the singles. And then they have a Youth America Cup qualifier. So they're going to send a youth to the America Cup, which is in July in Tampa. And then they have the Nodor Cup on Sunday.
Are we sending a youth to the America's Cup?
No. Do we send a youth anywhere? I mean, if you look at American darts and you look what Canada does with their youths and you look what we do, I mean, it's like, you got to be kidding me. We got like 5 families like trying to get their kids into youth darts and no one else. And the 5 families are like scattered all over the country. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. The whole system is like kind of messed up for youth. I don't know how like Paco Lobby has done okay going over to England and playing in the youth stuff. But, he plays with his dad. His dad was like an international player and stuff like that. So if you're not born into a dart family, I don't know how you get into this stuff.
How are you? Right.
And I don't know, I'm sure it's different in Canada because there's places to play that don't involve going into a bar, right?
Well,
if we could get
I would think that makes a huge difference.
I mean, all Halex or, all anybody needs to do is donate, 500 dartboards to the YMCA.
Yeah, that would help.
Or something. Or the Boys Clubs of America, something like that. The Chicago Park District. Do something, right? Remember, did you ever go to day camp?
Oh, yeah.
Did you? So they had that in the burbs, too?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess it was like kind of a daycare kind of program in the summer when you're out of school.
Well, yeah, it's just kind of
was like ours was run by the Park District, and I mean, literally, they'd have like 200 kids.
Yeah.
And what would you do on a rainy day? We'd
remember if it rained.
In Chicago in the summer.
It had to, but yeah.
I don't know. It would be very easy to introduce kids to darts at something
I would
like
think
that.
so.
It'd be very easy for
I actually never thought about that. I think
take
that's a great
traveling
idea.
board, go to these, give a demonstration to these kids at a day camp in the summer. I mean, there's
not
nothing
only
going on in the summer
regardless,
anyway.
they don't, you don't have to be outside for the whole, 12 hours of daylight.
No.
You have all these activities in day camp. Set 2 hours aside, even just to,
It'd be very easy, and I'm sure the kids would go home saying, "Ooh, hey, I got to throw darts today and stuff. Let's get a dartboard at home." I mean, I don't It's just frustrating. But, I mean, doesn't that make you jealous? I mean, look at that. That's like an organized national event.
Yeah.
And the thing that caught my eye is look on Thursday. Thursday at 1 o'clock, they have the National Dart Federation of Canada officiating workshop.
For 4 hours.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's 15 minutes on going over the rules and 3 hours and 45 minutes of how to deal with the parents.
Yeah.
Which, if we did this in America, believe me, that would be kind of
how
it would work, right? Not that the parents are bad or anything. I mean, it's just, I met a couple of, I was going to get Joe Hendrick on the show. He's got kids playing and stuff. We'll have to sit down with him at some point and get him on the show. But I just thought that was like remarkable how they have this all set up, and then they have stage matches, and they're going to make sure that everyone's done playing so people could watch and stuff. I just thought that was great, so I just thought I'd mention that to everybody. I wish I could play, but I'm not.
A junior or a senior.
Well, I'm almost a senior. Well, it depends how you define senior. But anyway.
Which they don't state how they define junior and senior.
And then real quick from the Americas Tour in Indy, I actually. The turnout was pretty low, and I asked Rob Heckman, what he thought of that, and the way the America's Tour is set up, the America's Tour is set up to promote their machines. And so they have this tournament in order to promote the machines. So even though they're not getting the participation that they have room for, like they're not maxing out their fields, they're fine with that.
Okay.
Because that isn't their primary goal, right? So it's successful. Because I got some emails about, hey, what do you think about, nobody's playing and all this other stuff. I didn't play either, but and he said, yeah, there's something in Washington, but, it's in conjunction with their league finals, and they have these big operators there and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I get it. So it's more of
it's working out for them.
It's an exhibition for the company, but for the players, it's a massive sort of windfall, right? Because they're giving all this money out for the players to play for. You're playing for more than your entry
to promote their boards.
So, I mean, I am not going to accuse anyone of cherry picking, but I am going to call Joe Cheney tomorrow and find out why he was in St. Louis playing like a little, steel tournament instead of being in Indianapolis playing, for the big money, and see what he says.
Okay.
Because I'm very curious about that, because he did well. He's, Joe Cheney's done well playing in the soft tip. And all of a sudden he just runs and
goes to
wins. Well, he won the Sunday singles, so he gets his picture up in the bar and everything, which is great, but I just sort of confused. So, congrats to yeah.
I think it's a good question, though. Maybe he's got a really good answer.
Anyway, congrats to Jeremiah Millar. I tried to get him on the show a while ago. I'll try again. He won the America's Tour in Indianapolis. From what I hear, he played very, very well. And then the top 8 was let's see, who did he play? Okay, so Jeremiah beat Ram in the final.
All right.
And Ram is now the points leader on the America's Tour. So that's your update on that. And then the top 8 was, aside from Jeremiah and Ram, was Ray Carver, DJ Sayer, Benny Dursch, Big Dog, Van Duerson, and Lee Jones. So congrats to those guys. The Washington one is they just, I think they're opening sign-ups on Friday or something like that. And then, do you want to go to the...
How often are they having these?
There's this one is in Washington. Then they're having one in Wisconsin, up in Madison. That's the one you should go to.
When is it?
I think it's the beginning of August.
Oh.
So I was going to tell you before the show, you should go up there with me and check it out and kind of see what this is like. I mean, And then also the Bullshooter's coming up. You want to go to that?
When is that?
Memorial Day weekend. It runs Thursday through Monday, so don't tell me that you cannot make it. You got to at least go one day and check it out.
Maybe.
Go on Friday. Cut work. Friday's the cricket singles, so all the best players will be playing on Friday. That's worth going to. I mean, I won't play because I end up playing the winner in the first round or something. But no, I may play. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, as much as I'm practicing, it's not like I'm practicing soft tip or anything like that. So anyway, that was your Darts Live. Next week, we're going to start a new segment that we were supposed to start this week. But to be honest with you, I just got lazy. And you totally, if you don't remind me to record the audio, I don't know what we're going to do about you.
I just did.
Yeah. Okay.
Earlier today.
You did. That's right. But you got to keep doing it. I'm awfully sorry about the audio from last week.
I know. It's one of my jobs that I don't necessarily complete every week.
And I'm sorry that I did not update the crawl or the background this week, but we'll do better next week. You got anything else? Because otherwise I'm pretty much done.
All right.
We'll have results from Blueberry. Usually I have them, but I didn't get them. I know Eric Gregory, I think, won the Friday night singles. Joe Cheney won the Sunday singles. That much I know. So we'll try to get the rest of the results for everybody and update everybody on that. And then, we could talk some Premier League next week since we'll know who will be in the final.
Didn't you go to the Blueberry last year and said it was a blast?
I always have fun at the Blueberry. Yeah, the Blueberry.
So why are you just? But then maybe that's the reason Joe went.
Okay.
Just to have fun.
Well, I'm going to ask him.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him why he went there instead of going to Indianapolis.
Right.
Like, I know for a fact that some people have it in their mind. This is the way some guys think. They're like, ooh, all the good players are going to be over here, so I'm going to go over there.
Right.
And I don't think that that's the way guys should be doing it. I understand. It's like a business decision.
Yeah.
Right? okay, it's going to cost me X amount of dollars to go to a tournament. My
But-
odds of making my money are better at this tournament than that tournament. Well, I never looked at it that way. The way I look at it is like I assume I'm not going to win anything. And it's like, which tournament's worth going to? Right? Why would you go to a tournament that has like a payout of very little as opposed to a tournament that has an enormous payout? Especially the
from your
Dartslive tournaments are coin flip
From your
formats
standpoint,
anyway.
if you're not going to win anything anyway, then you might as well just go to the one that's the most fun. Regardless of who's in it. Regardless of the money, because
Okay,
you're not going to win anything anyway.
That isn't what I'm talking about. Is like I
No,
don't
I
go
know-
to a tournament assuming I'm going to win like every single event.
I know.
Like I had a guy do that once. I had a guy I was paired with who didn't bring much money with him because he assumed that we were going to win the doubles on Saturday. It's like, okay,
Right.
that's not a very good assumption. You got 100 of the best players in the country.
And you just
I wouldn't, spend the money until you win it.
Exactly.
Is kind of what I'm saying. It's like I've had success. I mean, I'll go and I'll play, but I'm not assuming I'm going to win everything. Yeah. I mean, what is that? Who assumes that?
Well,
because
obviously
they're well, obviously they're not always right.
Right. That is true.
But anyway, maybe we'll try to get Joe Chaney on the show next week and talk a little bit with him. He's a good guy to visit with. You'll like him. He's got that kind of southern sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had anybody like that on the show in a while. So I'll try to get Chaney on the show next week. Okay, so look forward to that. We'll effort that. And who else? We're going to try to get Joe Hendrick on the show. I'll reach out to him because I've seen him a couple of times, and we've never had time to sit down and chat and talk some youth darts. So we'll try to do that. So remind me if I don't get him. Hey, what happened to you getting that guy?
Okay.
Right.
Thanks, after I remind you to record the show.
Yeah, that would help. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll Dart Talk to you next Wednesday. Everybody take care.